Hello class and welcome to week 6. This week we're going to be tackling our favorite thing of all of math, our freaky, funky, fabulous fractions. So I hope you're feeling fantastic as we go into this week of fractions. We're going to be working with our learning target. I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. So let's take a look. When we are adding and subtracting fractions, the most important thing to remember is that the denominators must be the same. So the denominator is like the bottom part of that fraction. And we have to make sure that when we're adding and subtracting, we have equal sized pieces, which is what the denominator is. Okay? It goes back to kind of like our like terms. Like you can't subtract things that are not alike. You can't add things that are not alike. That's why we have to have the same denominator for adding and subtracting fractions. And we're going to be looking at how to make the denominators the same in the next couple slides. So we'll come back to that part. Okay, so let's look at an example when we have common denominators already in our fractions. So if you look here on the left, when we're adding fractions, we have 1/5 plus 2/5. All you have to do is add up the numerators. You can think of this as you have 1/5 of a pizza and 2/5 of a pizza. You cut a pizza in 5 pieces. You have 1/5 and then 2/5, and you're just adding them together. You have equal sized pieces already. They're still cut into 5 pieces when you have the 1 plus 2, 1 piece plus 2 pieces, 3 pieces. They're still cut in fifths, that's why we have 3/5. So you do not add the denominators as well. Okay. And then if we're looking at subtracting fractions, we're going to do the same thing, but this time instead of adding, we're going to subtract. So we have here in our example 7/12 minus 3/12. Okay, so 7 minus 3 is 4, so we have 4/12. And look, they're both divisible by 4, so we can simplify this. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So our answer is 1/3. Okay, now if we want to add or subtract fractions with different denominators, we first always have to get the same denominator. So if you look here at example number 1, we have 2/15 plus 3/5. 15 and 5, even though both have a 5 in it, they're not the same. So we can see what number can we get that is a multiple of both of these. This is also called our least common multiple. Okay, so we know that 5 goes into 15, but how many times does 5 go into 15? 3 times. Okay, so we're going to leave 2/15 alone, and we're going to do 3/5 over 3/5. We're going to multiply the top and bottom by 3. So 3 times 3 and 5 times 3. So we'll end up with 2/15 plus 9/15. And now we have the same denominator. So 2 plus 9 is 11, and we have 11/15 as our answer. And 11 is a prime number, so you don't have to simplify anything. Yeah! Okay, let's look at our next example. We have 1/6 minus 3/10. 6 and 10, once again, are not the same, but how can we get them to be the same? We're going to think of the smallest number that both of them go into, our least common multiple. What about 30? Okay, so what do we have to do to 6 to get to 30? We have to multiply by 5. And what do we have to do to 10 to get to 30? We have to multiply by 3. So we take 1/6, then we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 5 to keep it the same. Okay, so we have 1 times 5 over 6 times 5. And then we're going to multiply the top and the bottom of our second fraction by 3 so we can get that 10 to magically change into a 30. So we have 3 times 3 over 10 times 3. And that simplifies to 5 over 30 minus 9 over 30. Okay, take a deep breath. Now, 5 minus 9 over 30. 5 minus 9 is -4. And -4 and 30 are both even numbers, so we can divide by 2. And we have -2 over 15 as our final answer. Woo! Okay, and if you need a little bit more help talking through that, because I know I'm not always the best at explaining these fractions, especially when I can't see you guys and write up on the board, check out this link here. Okay, and now let's talk about multiplying fractions. I think multiplying fractions is the easiest operation you can do with fractions. All you have to do, multiply across. That's it. The cross multiplication we did early in the year, put that out of your memory for right now. We're just multiplying straight across. So we have 2/5 times 6/7, or 6/7. It's a hard one to say. And we're just going to multiply straight across. So we have 2 times 6 over 5 times 7, which is 12/35. And that's our final answer, because they have no common factors, so 12/35 can't be simplified, so our final answer is 12/35. Okay, if we look at example number 2, we have 1/4 times 2/3. We can multiply across, so we have 1 times 2 and 4 times 3. And 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 3 is 12. 2/12, this reduces or simplifies to 1/6, or 1/6. So multiplying fractions pretty easy, but if you still feel like you need a little extra help with multiplying fractions, check out this video. Okay, and then when we are dividing fractions, the most important thing with dividing fractions, you want to be keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip. Okay, just like chant that in your head a few times. And if you sleep tonight and have keep, change, flip going in your head, you're never ever going to forget it. So dream about keep, change, flip tonight. Okay, so just a note here, when we change 2 7s to 7/2, so when we flip it, that's called the reciprocal. That's like the fancy math word that I think you've learned before, but we just want to connect that to you here. And then once we do the flip, we can just multiply across, okay? So when we have 3/4 divided by 2 7s, we keep the first fraction, we change the sign, so it went from being division to multiplication, and we flip the second fraction. So 3/4 times 7/2, we multiply across, and we have 3 times 7 is 21, 4 times 2 is 8. And 21/8 is our final answer. And we can leave it as an improper fraction. It's okay that the top is heavier than the bottom. That's okay, right? And if you need a little bit more here, let's look at one more example. We have 7/3 divided by 2/8. So we are going to keep, change the sign from division to multiplication, and we're going to flip the 2/8 into 8/2. Okay, and then we multiply across. 7 times 8 is 56. 3 times 2 is 6. So now we have 56/6. But wait, we can simplify this. They're both divisible by 2. So let's divide both by 2. All right, no drawing on here. We divide both by 2. 56 divided by 2 is what? 28. So we have 28/6 divided by 2 is 3. And our final answer is 28/3. All right. So now if you're still like, Ms. Larson, I have no idea what you're saying, watch this video with dividing fractions. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys right now. I just want to remind you to practice with the quizzes link. This week it'll be a completion grade, so don't forget to do that. And I also have a little challenge question in here for you. So figure it out, submit it over email or on Google Classroom, and you'll get a couple extra points of extra credit. Okay, you guys are awesome. I miss you all very much, and can't wait to talk to you soon. Bye.